Fight Mike here. Today I'm going to be doing the full card predictions and breakdown for UFC Apex this weekend, headlined by Steve Garcia and David Onama. If you'd like to see a breakdown of any specific fight, the timestamps will be in the comments section. But starting off with the early prelim opener, we got Talita Alencar versus Ariane Carnelossi. This is kind of a little bit of a tough fight to predict, just because I think on a technical level, Talita Alencar is better, but physically, Carnelossi is much more imposing, much more jacked. She looks like she's on all the PEDs on the planet. But the thing is that although she's very muscular, she's had some terrible performances. Her takedown defense isn't amazing. And I think I'm just going to lean Talita Alencar because of that takedown defense. Just because she shoots a lot. Not a lot, but she shoots at least a couple of times per fight. She's able to hold her opponents down. She's got decent enough jiu-jitsu, and I think I'm going to take I'm pretty sure she's an underdog. I'm going to take the underdog for like a 29-28 decision win due to grappling. Moving on to the next one, we've got Phillip Rowe versus Seokhyong KO. I think Seokhyong KO gets it done again. Got a good win last time out against the Welsh guy, the Welsh gangster, Oban Elliott. I couldn't remember his name for a second, but I think he's pretty good, and especially to really easily out-grapple Oban, I think he's going to be able to do the same thing to Phillip Rowe. Look, Phillip Rowe's been doing a lot of grappling recently. He does a ton of grappling tournaments, and I think he is going to be, if he can start defending the takedowns early of Seokhyong KO, I think he's going to have an easy time in this fight. But I just see him making bad decisions. He seems to do that in most of his fights, especially the ones that he's favored to win, and you'll see him go out there against Neil Magny and try to out-clinch him and be super inactive on the feet. And then you'll see him have a blinder of a performance against, who did he fight last time out? I'm forgetting the name of every single guy. It was this super jacked, shorter, darker skinned guy who he knocked out in the third round up against the cage. But he seems to be doing it time and time again, where he have a good performance, bad performance, good performance, bad performance. And I think that this is where he has a bad one, just because Seokhyong KO he wrestles very, very early, and he's quite dominant once he gets his wrestling going. And against Phillip Rowe, I think he's going to have an easy time taking him down because Phillip's so tall. And I don't think Phillip's going to be able to get his striking going because he's going to spend a round or two on bottom for the first part of it. I just trust that Seokhyong KO is going to be able to make the better decisions, try to win the entire time, and he's going to be able to win a decision against Phillip Rowe. Moving on to the next one, we've got Montserrat Cornelo Cruz versus Alice Ardeline. I'm going to go with Alice Ardeline again by decision. She's bigger, stronger, more likely to out-grapple, and she's just better than Montserrat Cornejo Ruiz. The thing is, Rui's been getting finished in every single fight for her last 3 fights. And even if Alice Ardeline has an ugly record at 10-7, she's fought so many people. I think her second fight ever was against Diana Belbita. And she's just been fighting good opposition for the last 17 of her fights. And she makes her fights very close. That's the thing. If she's losing, it's by decision and by a close one at that. And it's usually due to visible damage. Montserrat Cornejo Ruiz is not going to do visible damage in this fight. So Alice Ardeline is going to be able to outskill her, out-grapple her at moments, probably hold her up against the cage, maybe getting a 30-27 decision. Moving on to the next one, we've got Ketlen Vieira versus Norma Dumont. I'm a bit worried about this fight because I do want Norma Dumont to win this one, but she's been very inactive. Hasn't fought since September last year when she got that massive gash over Irene Aldana's eye. But I think that she's going to be cleaner and better of a striker than Ketlen Vieira. Vieira's got the grappling. She's probably stronger than Norma. But I think Norma's going to be able to avoid all of that and win a 29-28 decision. I know I'm picking decision for all of these, but look at the matchups. You're going to know why I'm picking a decision. Moving on to the next one, though, we've got Dante Johnson versus Cedric Dumas. Dante Johnson's going to get this one done. He fought in heavyweight in the Contender Series, I think 2 months ago. And now he's coming down to middleweight. He's only won by TKO. He's an absolute ball of muscle. He's quite fast and explosive. He must be pretty durable as well. He took some big shots off that heavyweight. And he's just got crazy round one potential, even at heavyweight and light heavyweight. So I can't imagine what he's going to be like at middleweight. If you watch the channel, you know Cedric Dumas is my least favorite fighter on the roster. So I'm going to be glad to see him get flatline KO'd by Dante Johnson in the first round. The only way that Cedric Dumas can win this is if he can go get that Cody Brundage game plan going and try and out-grapple Dante Johnson. But I don't see it because Dante's built so small. He might be like 5'11", 6 foot, maybe even shorter. But I think that Cedric is going to find it really hard to get onto the hips of Dante because of the height, the power. And I think Cedric is going to go with like a outside foot battle, tapping strikes on the outside, really inactive type fight style. And I think Dante Johnson's going to walk through those shots and hopefully sleep Cedric Dumas out cold. Moving on to the next one, we've got Timmy Kawamba versus Chang Ho Lee. This is actually pretty tough. I want to pick Chang Ho Lee on this because he's very strong. He's got good wrestling, especially in the scrambles. He follows you in the scrambles well. Oh, I've got such an itchy nose. Gosh. I'm still recovering. But I think Timmy Kawamba is much better on the feet. He's got very good combinations. Very fast combinations at that. I think his hand speed is going to be like double the speed of Chang Ho Lee. And the thing is about Timmy Kawamba is that he gets into flow state very easily and very well. In his last fight against Roberto Romero, he got into like a flow state at the end of the second round where he head kicks Roberto, flying knees him, gets him out of there. And the thing is about Timmy Kawamba, he's shown some improved takedown defense, and especially against Chang Ho Lee, who's such a dominant grappler, he's going to really need that. I really don't know who to pick, but I think I'm going to go Timmy Kawamba. And I think he's going to get a decision due to damage. I think Chang Ho Lee's got a very good shot at getting this by a decision, but he doesn't really do that much damage. And I think Timmy Kawamba in the boxing is going to be much better than Chang Ho Lee, and he's going to get a 29-28 decision. Moving on to the next one, we've got Kevin Christian versus Billy Elikana. I think Billy Elikana is going to get it done. Kevin Christian is good, but I can't watch you dominated like a whale on its back on the Contender Series when you're a jiu-jitsu guy. You're known for your jiu-jitsu and you got beaten up on bottom position against an opponent who's like 4-0. That's bad look, especially when you've got nothing on the feet. On the feet in that Contender Series fight, he wasn't doing anything, no damage, no strikes, just fainting at range. And although Billy Elikana, I don't think is the best fighter ever, he's going to be able to get it done over Kevin Christian. He's not going to gas out and just get submitted off bottom position. Elikana is pretty good. He's not very active on the feet, but I think he's going to be comfortably better on the feet and good enough to survive on the ground. And I think he's actually going to get a finish. I could see a rear naked choke. He did get the back of Bogdan Guskov, so that could be open there, and he seems pretty good at it. But I think he's going to get a ground and pound TKO finish as Kevin Christian sitting on bottom looking for the triangle for the third round in a row. So round 3 TKO for Billy Elikana. This is such a non-exciting card. Moving on to the next one, we've got Alan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. I'm going to go with Alan Nascimento. This is right for an Alan Nascimento rear naked choke. Durden gives his back up every time he gets up. Alan's a specialist. And although Cody's the better striker, and I can see him beating up Alan Nascimento at points, because Alan's sometimes a bit of a victim, and Cody's going to be winging a bunch of like heavy hooks, I just see that being right for Alan to just jump under, get the takedown, swivel around to the back, and get the rear naked choke, especially since Cody Durden's not had a training camp for this one. And Alan Nascimento has been training for Rafael Esteban. Completely different style, but still a grappler, and probably a better grappler than Cody Durden. So I think Nascimento is going to get it done. I'm so sad, though, that God, I was about to call him Felipe Boons, that Rafael Esteban pulled out of this fight, because him versus Nascimento would have been a great fight. Moving on to the next one, we've got Charles Radke versus Daniel Frunze. I think Radke's going to be able to get it done, but it's a bit hard to pick because Radke's wins age terribly, like the Gilbert Urbina win, the Matthew Semmelsberger win, the Mike Matheja win, who was literally like the worst UFC fighter ever. But I think he's still going to get it done over Frunze. Frunze got demolished by Reese McKee. And after we saw what happened with him and Axel Sola, Reese McKee's that's not a win that age as well. So I think that Charles Radke, I think he could get a KO here. I hope he does get him back on track. Moving on to the next one, we've got Isaac Dulgarian versus Yadiev Delval. I'm going to go with Isaac Dulgarian in this one. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. He's got very good control, good wrestling, ground and pound. I don't usually encourage knees to the thigh, but Dulgarian needs to marab it up, because if you've seen his last 2 fights, he's doing all the good wrestling, all the good control, all the ground and pound. But then he just does gas out at lots of points, and that's due to the heavy scrambling, trying to hunt for top position. He needs to really stop that, and he needs to marab it up in this fight if he wants to get it over on Yadier Delval. Because Yadier is pretty good. He's got good power. He's got a lot of good kicks. He's got good control when he gets the takedown and good cardio. And when he smells a finish, he's going to throw wild and go 100%. But this is actually pretty tough, because Yadier does actually have a lot of skills, and he's going to be so much better than Isaac Dulgarian on the feet. On the feet, Dulgarian's terrible, and his stand-up looks like he's a robot. So Yadier's got a good shot in this one, but the fact that he was pulling guillotines on the Contender Series, pulling himself onto bottom position, shows me he's not got the grappling IQ, and Isaac Dulgarian's probably going to finish him by a submission. Moving on to the next one, we've got Jeremiah Wells versus Themba Gorimbo as a feature fight of a fight night in 2025. This is a tough one, and not genuinely to pick, but it's a tough one to watch. Because either Jeremiah Wells KOs Themba Gorimbo, or Themba smudges him to a decision. There's no in between, and I'm going to go with the Themba smudge, just because he does it all the time, and Jeremiah's shown no developmental aspects of his game in the UFC since coming into the UFC. He's constantly rushing. He's technically not great. He crosses his feet constantly. He's always off balance. And whilst I could see him sleeping Themba Gorimbo out cold, I just think that Themba's going to be able to get the takedowns. And once he gets there, I assume that Themba's going to be able to hold Jeremiah Wells down. God, I've got such an itchy nose. Moving on to the next one, we've got Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Ante Delija. I'm going to go with Ante Delija by a round 1 KO. I'm worried, though, that Waldo is going to be able to get through this because he's extremely durable. But for Salsa Boy, the only thing he is durable. I don't know if you watched the last video when Waldo fought Sergey Pavlovich. I was so frustrated. I hate watching Salsa Boy fight, because the thing is that he's just jiggling out there at range, just feinting, doing absolutely nothing, just making you feel imposed by his belly just moving towards you menacingly. But if Waldo can't outpoint you, if Waldo can't fear you, he won't outpoint you. He has to. God, I said that the completely wrong way. If Waldo does fear you, he won't outpoint you. But if he doesn't fear you, he can outpoint you. If he thinks that he's got something over you, he can do it. But against a guy with fast hands like Ante, it's going to be hard for Waldo to, 1, take the shots, and 2, for Waldo to feel like he can actually outpoint Ante, because Ante is so much faster than him. The way I see Waldo getting it done, though, is through the wrestling. He really has to go to it, and go to it early. As the fight goes longer, maybe he can wear on Ante, maybe with some leg kicks and that sort of stuff. Because without the speed and power, Ante is kind of just a bum rushing forward. I don't really know what his plan of attack is when he does gas out, but I don't think Waldo's going to make it there. Waldo fought in August against Sergey Pavlovich, took some absolute heaters. I don't imagine he's fully recovered after that. So Ante should be able to get this one done, and I hope and think he's going to sleep Salsa Boy out cold in the first round. Moving on to the next one, we've got Steve Garcia versus David Onama. I'm going to go with Steve Garcia, and I'm going to also say, I don't care. Steve Garcia is my new favorite fighter. Not necessarily because of how he fights. Well, it is because of how he fights, but not necessarily because he's blisteringly he's super fun to watch, or he's sleeping everyone out cold in a minute. It's because he's the new age Tony Ferguson. And Tony Ferguson was the guy that made me watch MMA. So Steve Garcia is naturally my new favorite. He's very good. Defensive head movement is amazing. His slips and rips are really good. He's such a tricky southpaw as well. And he's gritty, durable, very good output, slick. He works the body very well. And he wins shots hard. He wants to finish you in every single fight. I can see a world, though, where Onama is able to out-grapple Steve Garcia. Onama is deceptively gritty, and he has a good team working with Youssef Zalal. But the thing is that usually where David Onama is able to get the win is where he gasses his opponent out with the grappling, or he's able to knock them out with something crazy, or just outrange them and outskill them. And although I do think Onama is very skillful, I don't think he's skillful or powerful enough to keep Steve Garcia away from him. Steve's going to be able to use that diamond head movement, walk through the shots, deliver some harder ones back. And I think he's going to win by like a 3rd round, 4th round TKO. I know Onama's not been finished by KO before, but he gets rocked in a lot of his fights. And Steve Garcia, if he smells blood, he's going to go for it. I hope he is the new age Tony Ferguson and he's like built out a metal and he's got unlimited cardio, because I could see him going quite far in this division. He's got really good head movement and he's got great pressure, and his shot selection's very good as well. So let me know what you think of this in the comment section below. This is, now that I'm looking at the time, of the shortest ever predictions video for me. But it's honestly because there's not really much to talk about in most of these fights. They're such bad fights, I'm not going to lie. If I'm looking at these fights, Steve Garcia versus David Onama, when people were complaining about this being a main event, I actually didn't care. I love Steve Garcia. Maybe I'm biased though. I do think that this is an alright main event though. Just two non-really known fighters coming up against each other. But they're both very skilled. They're good prospects in their own right. This one, great fight for an Apex. Like, I expected this when I saw this was announced, because this was announced before Garcia versus Onama. But when this was announced, I thought that this was going to be the main event, to be honest. And that I wouldn't have been too happy with. But co-main event, I'm happy with that. Top 2 fights of this Apex card, honestly, I am excited. But no. Themba versus Jeremiah Wells, no. Somewhat to watch Isaac Dulgarian come back. No. Like, this is actually the least exciting fight on the card. Little bit. Nascimento versus Rafael Esteban would have been more exciting. And then we've got Kevin Christian, Billy Alicana. Again, no. This is sort of fun. Timmy Kawamba, Chang Ho Lee, sort of fun. Dante Johnson sleeping out Cedrique would be fun. This is a little bit exciting. Ketlin Vieira, Norma Dumont, ranked 3 and ranked 4, I think. Sort of exciting? No. Yes. Again, this is actually weirdly exciting to be the 2nd fight on the card. No one cares about this fight. That's the thing. This card is full of people who I don't really care to see them fight. So that's why it's so short. Let me know what you think of the card in the comment section below. Do you think that Steve Garcia is the new age Tony Ferguson? And if so, is he beating David Onama? As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.